live had to end, so I had to come back. But I come back with a different topic and a different subject. Because this is Freestyle Friday. Zachary's in the front watching TV, and before Zachary come and get ready for bed, I have the opportunity to talk crap and hopefully gain subscribers. With that being said, welcome to Insight and Perspective with Bronx Girl. Mom? Yeah. Zachary. I am your host, Bronx Girl, and I would like for you to know, like, before you enter, you are entering the mouth of a lion. So, listen, you are entering the mouth of a lion, a female lion. And we are here to talk about male podcasters. Like, I feel like this is a real tough topic to talk about, but an interesting topic to talk about because, as you know, like, if you look on YouTube, TikTok, all over, and just turn around, everywhere you go, everywhere you turn, you are. And I had to just end the live and come back for the reason that, like, this is a different topic. Like, shit, I want to build up my subscribers. Once I build up my subscribers to a certain amount, I definitely will be showing my face more. But with Mel Podcaster, they are just dominating this field. Like, they are dominated this field so much. Like, it's like, where do women fit in? They are making sure that there is no room for no women to excel or thrive, and that's okay. Like, I will be considered, like, unnoticed. I don't have that many subscribers. I don't have that many views. I don't have that many people in my lives. I don't even have nobody in my lives. And I'm not complaining. I just feel like I have the opportunity to express how I feel about male podcasters. And there are plenty of male podcasters that I would like to talk about that I have seen currently and that we just get my feedback from a female perspective. A lot of men, they get up here, they talk that crap, they talk that shit, and they act like that they can't be, like, pushed against the wall. I mean, pushed in a corner or put in a corner. Because they leave a lot to the imagination, males in general. But when it comes to male podcasters, they have a different outlook and a different view. Like, it's their opportunity to perform and say the things that they were never given an opportunity. Hey, how are you? How you doing? I'm just getting started. How you been, Janice? Thank you. Thank you for stopping by. That means a lot to me. I know it's been a while, but I guess this is my 1,000,000,000 attempt to try at this social media. But yeah, about male podcasters, like, they took over the whole Phil. They have this, and no one could take that away from them. But what I'm saying is, like, with male podcasters, they show who they are. What I like about watching male podcasters, they give us insight into how they think. Men giving us women, like, front row seats on how they think about just things in general. It doesn't have to be particular about women. We know how men think about women, okay? But it's even more and interesting when you hear it for yourself. And I would like to thank the male podcasters for giving me content to reply and rebut your obnoxious thinking and the way you think and the way you just go about your day. Male podcasters are definitely lacking something. And you know what is so crazy about male podcasters is because, like, most of them that are at the top of their game already have a name for themselves. They already been in the business, have been in the business, and I guess being a male podcaster, this is a form of retirement for male podcasters, right? If you're a male podcaster, you are in retirement. Oh shit! If you if you are a male podcaster, not all, but there are some I don't know. I'm not going to, like, I like the Mel podcast, Let's Rap About It with Mano. I like Mano really a lot. I think he's cool. I think he's intelligent. Then we have Jim Jones. I was just recently speaking about Jim Jones. He's on. Okay, so let run it down the line. I'm going to be doing rebuttals to Let's Rap About It, um, and uploading videos. So Let's Rap About It is a male podcast, right, for men. And the starting lineup is Mano. I believe Mano. I'm going to put, he's the moderator, right? And then we have, all right, the last time I think I went over this, I set it up, but I'm going to set it up in a way where everyone understand. And then we have next to Mano, across from Mano is Fabulous, right? And then across from Mano on the other side is Jim Jones. And then we have Dave East. So if you were to look at the setup and the sitting arrangement, it's like Mano and Jim Jones, then Fabulous and Dave East. So if they were at a spades game, if they were playing spades, Jim Jones and Mano would be partners, and Dave East and Fabulous would be partners, right? Or you could look at it like depending on the setup and the lineup and the seating arrangements is Jim Jones, I mean no, Mano, no. Yeah, Mano and Dave East can be partners, or Jim Jones and Fabulous can be partners, right? That's how we're going to set it up. Either way. But this is the cast of the male podcasters, and they talk about, they what I like about their podcast is it's a bit lighthearted. It's not too intense. It's not vulgar. It's not like them expressing their hate for women. They do talk about certain topics. They all have a difference of opinion, and it's a good, decent podcast. I like Mano as the moderator, and I like him because he's honest and more vulnerable than the others, and it's okay. I like Jim Jones. He always, whatever. I mean, like, I'm not like attracted to him enough that he's a nice looking guy. Davies, he's just young. He's nice looking. They all nice looking. Fabulous, he's, yeah, whatever. But I like their podcast. I like I like the thinking behind men, and I like the fact that they are allowing us women without them knowing how men think, which is a great thing. Men don't really have conscious, they're not really aware of what they say and what they do and how they do it. And sometimes it takes a woman like myself and many others, women like myself, to at least put things into perspective and show them and give them clarity on what they say and how they do things. I'm just talking about male men in general, right? So with this Let's Rap About It, we are still waiting for Jim Jones to release a statement, because people were saying that the podcast was canceled. I don't know if it's canceled. They just did promo for their new show coming soon. So I'm looking forward to getting into that. And a lot of people are going to tune into Let's Rap About It, to see Jim Jones give a statement about him and Dame Dash going at it like 20 years ago, and what is his thoughts on that. So that's going to be a real hot show and a real hot, topic on the show, which I'm definitely will tune in for nevertheless. But what I wanted to say is, like, with the male podcasting, it's no room for any woman to go in this field and take it over unless we form a chain and do it together. But that's not going to happen anytime soon. Hi, how are you? Thank you for coming by. Hi. With Mel, especially, listen, with men, I'm not here to, like, I think I can draw it back a little, not that much, about my disdain for male podcasters and the way they become so unhinged and unraveled. But it also is like all the egos that's built up and inside of them, they release it on the podcast. Let's Rap About It with Mano and all of the other Fabulous, Jim Jones and Dave East. They're a little bit more lighthearted, a little bit more open and inviting to women. So if you are a woman and you want to listen to a male podcast that's entertaining, that's fun, and that's just lighthearted, go watch Let's Rap About It. I think you will like that more than ever. What other? I try to check out Jada and Fat Joe podcast, but I don't know. My attention wasn't like feeling it, but I did listen in about what they were saying and what they were talking about. I did watch what is this called? Damn. Oh, the other podcasts, like the other men podcasts that use their platform to berate and degrade women. It's like, oh, it's hard for me to get past this and listen to this full, throttle. I can't listen to them. I just can't. So I'm taking it one day at a time and listening to Let's Rap About It just to get insight and do many topics on what they say and do a lot of rebuttals to what they say. One topic they were talking about is with Mano, Fabulous, and Jim Jones and Davies on Let's Rap About It podcast. They brought up the idea of men being stepfathers. Like, if you're not the type of man that want to be a part of a woman's life with a child, that's okay. That's okay. You don't have to date a woman. No one is forcing you to date a woman with children, but that don't give you the right to mistreat her or degrade or demean her because you don't want a woman with children. There are plenty of women that's walking around the world minding their business, doing their own thing, that don't have children, and they don't even care to have children, right? What a lot of men won't recognize and what a lot of men won't admit to is like, okay, I'm a man that don't like women with children, because usually they say it was single moms. They don't like single moms. But on this episode, in this podcast, Mano pointed out the fact that he meet women and date women, and because he has children himself, he meet women and date women, have dated women with children. So the other guys was pushing him on the issue and the fact that he said he dated and he talked to women with children. I forgot who asked, but it doesn't matter. One of them asked Mano, would he date, or whatever. He said, that's not my preference, but I have, and I do, and I did. I guess the other men were a little bit confused by what Mano said because he didn't say nothing wrong. He cleared it up. He did state and mention that that's not his preference, but he do and he have. What they didn't understand is Mano was saying, listen, dating a single mother is not my preference. Dating a woman with children is not my preference, but I still have dated women with children. I still have dated women that have children. It's not a problem for me. It's just not a preference. See, you could be the type of man to say, like, I don't prefer a woman with children. I don't prefer a woman that's whatever, your preference. You have a preference. Everyone has a preference. But I guess what Jim Jones and others, Davies and Fabulous, didn't understand was Mano was saying he's not prejudiced, right? A lot of men are prejudiced. Like, a lot of men, and they wouldn't admit that they are prejudiced, right? So if you're a man and you say, well, I don't date single moms, like, okay, you have to ask yourself. I will ask you for you because I feel like a lot of men are dumb when it comes to this topic in this area of discussion. I feel like when you say, oh, I don't date single mothers or single moms, I would have to ask you, would you still date this woman if she was married? You would say no. Okay, there go your answer. You should just start learning to say that I don't date women with children. Because if the mother was not single, that means she would be married. But what Mano was trying to get his point across, which I really admire and liked, was that he said that that's not his preference, but he have and he did. And the other guys was pushing back to, I guess, corner him to saying something that they want him to say, but he did make it be known that's not his preference. But he did state he didn't state in the words per se that he's not prejudiced. He was just letting people know, no, I'm not prejudiced. I'm open to, just because I wouldn't date a woman with children, that don't mean I would mistreat her like men that berate, degrade, and demean women that are single mothers are demeaned and degraded every single day on these platforms by men that are scary to be around, right? I feel like if you're a man and you don't want a woman with children, fine, well and dandy. But that's not for you to punish her because you feel like a woman that's raising a child or alone should suffer. Or you feel like as a man, a woman with a child and raising the child alone should not have access to the finer things of life, or should not enjoy her life, or should not be joyful of her life, or don't have any happiness in her life. And by punishing her, you are willing to go to the extent of saying that single mothers should not be even considered, which is sad, right? Like, this is what I be talking about with men. They really are like bullies. They really do have a real strong hatred for women. Like, Mano was a perfect example of what he said, his preference. If you don't like women with children, if you don't want to date women with children, don't date women with children. No one is holding you hostage. No one is making you date a woman with children. That is your choice not to date a woman with children, right? Because you damn sure wouldn't have access to her if she was married. So think of it like that. But the thing, these men that are so quick to say, so they are so bold in their statements to say, listen, and I want to ask you, men, because you really failed to answer this question, and you would never answer this question. Now that this world has changed, women are taking a stance on their own and making their own decisions and making their own choices, and they have the right to do so. As a man, if you are listening as a man, you need to subscribe to the channel and you need to be a part of this conversation just for your benefit alone. So as a man, make sure you subscribe, okay? I'll greatly appreciate it. And as a man, if you hear, which I'm pretty sure you probably will stop by, like the video. But you as a man, you need to start thinking ahead and thinking outside the box. One good thing you can ask yourself as a man is like, I'm a man that don't want a woman, don't want to date a woman with children. And I'm not interested in dating a woman with children. So what are the chances of you as a man meeting a woman who does not have children and want children with you and want to marry you, right? Because either way you look at it, if you meet a woman and she doesn't have children and you want to have a child with her and you don't marry her, she's still a single mother. She's still considered head of household. So a lot of men, you contradict yourself. You are definitely hypocrites in the most way possible. Ask yourself that if I meet a woman, she don't have children, and I know that I want a child with someone that don't have children, in the world that we live in today, women are not interested in having children, and women are not interested in having any babies. So I guess men will be lonely until eternity. Ask yourself that. But just stay away from women that you are not attracted to. Stay away from women that you don't have no interest in. Stay away from women that you probably won't ever, give a chance to. Because men would rather harass women and make them suffer and endure pain because men are just sadistic like that. And that was a great topic that was brought up on Let's Rap About It, is that Mano did lay out and that he did make it be known that no, I don't prefer women with children. That's not my preference, but he did make it clear to everyone that he's not prejudiced against women that have children. even though that's not his preference, right? Just because you have a preference, and everyone have preferences, everybody have a preference, everyone have preferences, and everyone have a choice, right? Just because you have a preference, because we all have them, that does not mean that you have to mistreat the person, well, anyone, that's not your preference, like shit. Just as simple as that. Simple as that. To men that talk about single moms, and me being a woman that have children and not married and not what is it called, I'm not in a domestic relationship. Even you as a man being with a woman in a domestic relationship, and she tells you, when you get to know her and want to know what she want out of life, and she tells you that, okay, I do want children, but you as the man don't have the, you don't want to marry her, you don't want to get married, but you still have these thoughts in your head about single mothers because you are there physically, you thinking you're doing something, that you would be considered a part of a domestic partnership, in a domestic relationship. You're not married. She's still a single mother. She still will have to file taxes as her baby, as a dependent, and her as head of household. So you wouldn't have a say so in anything as far as being in a domestic relationship. And that's the way it is. It's just the law, right? Men, it's okay what you want. You do what you want anyway, so there's no stopping you. But I just wanted to bring that to you, y'all's attention, men attention, that listen, if you date a woman and you want to have a child with her, get to know her for at least 2 to 3 years, right? Before you have a child with her, marry her. Right, because it's going to be hard for y'all to find a woman that likes you and want to marry you and want to have a baby with you. Because now women are embracing their freedom and taking advantage of it to the fullest extent, and opting out of the traditional role of being a woman and a wife. Thank you for that. I'm glad that women are standing up for themselves and taking the stance and making it be known that they are not going to give into society's rules and society's expectation of women. And women are actually doing it in droves, and they are making statements, and men can't handle this truth. That's why they are so lonely. Men are lonely. Men are lonely because no one wants to suffer or endure the pain that they are so eager to place upon women, right? If you listen to any male podcaster that have no sense at all, that don't respect women, that don't think women are um, um, human beings, that think women are beneath them, that look at women as objects, you will see the reason why women don't want to be with them. You will see that men take great pleasure when a woman suffer and endure. And I'm you know what I was thinking about? I'm not going to stay long because it's going on 10 o'clock. You know what I was thinking about? Listeners, if you're listening, there's nobody in here, but that's okay. Hopefully, you know, you will subscribe to my channel if you are interested in hearing and interested in entering the lion's den, because you are in the lion's den. You have entered the mouth of a lion. You are entering the mouth of a lion. You are listening from the mouth of a lion. You know what I thought about, like reflecting about in my past relationships, and just, I'm not hurt. No one has hurt me where I can't recover. But even in my like low self-esteem stages, I use that as a mechanism to build up confidence, right? We all will forever have insecurities. No one is like perfect. No one is flawless. We all have. um, insecurities. Some women probably never ever suffered from low self-esteem, and that's a good thing. Some women probably wouldn't even like let that uh, get them down. But what I'm going to say is, like, as a woman in her early 20s and teenage years who experience low self-esteem, and when you reflect and you start to, like with me, if I dated a guy and I met a guy and I knew a guy and I spent time with a guy and he was mean, because men are hateful and mean when they deal with women that have low self-esteem. They're very mean. They're very, like, mean, and that's all I'm going to say, that they are mean. They enjoy the pleasure from seeing you suffer and pain and enduring the harsh abuse. And I'm not saying towards me. When I say men were mean and harsh to me, like, they'll say little stupid hateful things, or they'll do stupid or hateful things, and, like, either I respond or I wouldn't. But they couldn't make me do nothing I didn't want to do. That was the problem. Like, you're not going to make me do something I don't want to do. I don't give a fuck how low my self-esteem is or how insecure you think I am. I'm not doing nothing I don't want to do. You know what I mean? I knew how to fight back, and that's where the problem lies. Is, like, as a woman with low self-esteem back then, or just a woman that didn't confront her insecurities, I still fought back. I still had a ounce of confidence, and I still had an ounce of dignity and integrity. But in those little instances where you observe men in their natural element, they get great joy and pain when they think a woman is where they want a woman to be, especially when a woman suffers. Or they get great joy seeing a woman suffer. They get great joy out of seeing a woman enduring pain from their hateful ways. And that's why I stress to all women, like build up your confidence, be strong. Don't let no man try to pin you down and take advantage of you, because they surely will do that if they are with the right women. And that's what these male podcasters are just, and I'm going to get off. That's what these male podcasters get off on, is bragging about the pain and suffering that they put women through, or brag about the pain and suffering that they think women should endure from the hands of a man. And these, in this era, 2026, 2025, for the last, decade, women been turning their backs on men, saying no, and opting out of being in a relationship and preferring to be single, which is probably the most safest for us in this day and time, for us to be single and stay out of harm's way, which is a great thing. And that's why I'm going to continue watching male podcasting, because they give us insight into how they think. I'm going to continue doing research on, like, men and whatever. If you watch Tubi, that's a great place to start on how men think. Like, the Tubi is no different. Tubi is the form of male podcasters, Red Pill, men that hate women, right? If you watch Tubi, you definitely would draw from men showing that they hate women, or that they love and enjoy women suffering at their violent hands. Let me see. Oh, it's 10 o'clock. Let me go. I hope listen, I've been talking. I'm sleepy. It's Friday. No one is in here. I definitely have to build up my audience. Hopefully, I will build up my audience for over 2,000. When I get to 2,000 subscribers, that's when I'll show my face, right? That's the plan. When I get to 2,000 subscribers, I will show my face every time I go live. And I would still talk shit, but I would just show my face. I'm not showing my face on live until I get to 2,000 subscribers. Probably like a flash face. A flash. I'll show my face, like flashing my face. But to go live 100% to show my face, no, I definitely need to build up my subscribers. And I plan on doing that. So with that being said, thank you for listening to my insight and my perspective with Bronx Girl. Have a good night.